Hello class and welcome to week 4. This is a very busy week for students as your milestone number 2 is due this week. So let's get started with an overview. This week we have course outcomes of proposes leadership and collaboration strategies for use with consumers and other healthcare providers in managing care and or delegating responsibilities for health promotion, illness prevention, health restoration and maintenance, and rehabilitative activities. You will have 2 threaded discussions this week, just as normal. The first one talks about evaluating patient outcomes, how you can look at patient outcomes and determine areas that might be poor quality of care, and what you can do about those perceived outcomes. The next one is discussion of articles. So in this section, you're going to go to the website of Patient Safety and Quality and Evidence-Based Handbook of Nurses website. If you go to Doc Sharing, and under the main heading, you can go to this AHRQ website retrieval PDF, and this will show you, this is what that looks like, the steps that you need to go about in order to get to that particular website and how you will get to those articles. Now, one of the things you want to make sure you do is while you're on those articles, I want you to put the full URL for the article that you chose, and you should give a good summary of those articles so that your classmates and I can look at that and really have a good understanding of what that article was about. So give us a good detailed summary of that. And then talk about continuing quality improvement needs to be associated with change. Oh, no, in this one you want to talk about the information of each article and how it applies to your practice and why that's an important information. Again, there's the Q&A forum for any time that you might need that. So let's talk about milestone 2 that is due this week. Again, there's 2 very important informations on Doc Sharing that I want you to look at. The first one is the draft guidelines. So that looks like this, and this is kind of your directions for the project. So you want to make sure that you read over this very carefully. Again, here's the grading rubrics. Make sure that in each one of your sections you have read the grading rubrics and read this first category, which is the A, which is the highest level you can get, and say, did I put these particular things into the grading rubrics? I will go through now, and you also can download off of the Doc Sharing the milestone number 2 outline. Now this is very important. You can have this and then you can save it as and use it for yourself, and you can use this as a template for yourself. So what you want to do is, running head, the title should be your title, not just put title on here. Again, here's the title of your paper, the name, myself, and then the course number. One of the things you want to make sure that your running head is done correctly, and then under each one of this information, this is the information that you should include in these sections. So again, your title here, not in bold but centered, and then talk a little bit about the problem. Here I want you to give an overview of the change model. I don't want you to list step 1 is this, step 2 is this, but give us an overall feeling. What is the change model and how should it be used? Now these headers here should stay exactly as they are written. Don't change them, don't edit them, and don't add them. Just put step 1, assess the need for change, step 2, etc. Now, you will not write this information here in each one of your paragraphs, but this will give you information about what needs to be in each section. So for instance, in this first step, you want to assess the need for change as it relates to your topic. You want to restate what your PICO question is. So again, I am looking to make sure that your PICO question is in step 1. Tell me what the internal data and external data is. The internal data is what isn't currently being used in your practice compared to the external data of what does the evidence show. Is there someplace difference? Is there a gap between that information? Again, step 2, go into the information here. So I want to talk for a minute about step 3 because this is an area that oftentimes many students will lose points. In this particular section, you must have 6 peer-reviewed articles that are referenced and used in the section. This is very important. If you have less than 6, even if it's beautifully written, you will not be able to get full credit. This is part of the instructions. You also need to make sure that you synthesize this information. So what I don't want to have is one paragraph for each one of your articles. Instead, think about the common threads that you learned about each one of these. Did you learn of a common theme in several of these articles? Make sure you write about it in terms of the themes that you saw in the literature, and feel free to reference more than one article in each paragraph, and even sometimes in each sentence. So again, this is not the place to summarize like you did in milestone number 1, where you said this article was about this and this article number 2 was about this, but really tell me, what did you learn and what were the themes from that information that you got through your literature review. So step number 4 is the design for practice change. So I want you to provide me a paragraph or two describing me the practice change will be designed. So let me know who the key stakeholders are and the key players for this change, and what is it going to look like. In step number 5, how are you going to implement this change? Once I read step 4 and 5, I will be able to look at your paper and know, oh, this is how they will plan to implement. And in step 5, and then step 4, I should be able to look at it and see exactly what it is that your design looks like. So tell me what you plan to do and how you plan to implement your intervention. And then number 6, on step 6, you want to integrate and maintain the change. So what is it exactly that you would do if you find that this is successful? Will you take that pilot study and do it on a broader scale? Will you implement your change into the entire staff? Will you change policies? What exactly will you do to make sure that the change sticks? And then you will summarize your paper. So one of the things in the summary, this should be an overview of your paper. The biggest place where students lose points is that they do not discuss the change model in the summary. This is the basis of your paper. So what I want you to do in the summary is I want you to tell me the problem briefly again. Tell me what you were going to, your intervention that you were looking at. Tell me how you're going to do it. You're going to use the six-step plan change model, and tell me just a brief understanding of what that change model is. Again, you want to make sure that you kind of give a brief summary of your entire paper, and you must include your change model in that. Then, of course, here are your references. Make sure that your references are in APA format. Again, in your doc sharing, there is a whole folder for APA references that is included right here. There's an APA template, as well as the annotated APA paper that you can look at information, and then the guidelines for writing professional papers. All of these are important. Another thing that I want you to talk about is when you download your paper into doc sharing, or into the Dropbox, excuse me, you will get a Turnitin report. It might take a few minutes. You might have to come back to it. You will look at your Turnitin report, and you must have less than a 26% on your Turnitin report in order for you to proceed. If you get a higher, look at your Turnitin report and make sure you evaluate what is going on with the Turnitin report and see where your similarities are so that you can paraphrase a little more. This is extremely important. I will grade the last paper that was submitted, and this is what will be graded. Again, you need to make sure that your Turnitin report is low to make sure that you did not plagiarize your paper. Even if it's inadvertent plagiarism, it still is plagiarism nonetheless. Another source that you might want to look at is TutorSource. This is a great source, and I've had students use this before. I will caution you that I believe that they have a 7-day turnaround, which is a long time. However, students have told me that their turnaround is much, much shorter than that, but they think they guarantee a 7-day turnaround. So the sooner you can get done, is better. So you go to Smart Thinking, and it brings you to another it brings you to another place. And what you're able to do here is you are able to go to this site, and you can actually put your well, obviously it's not going to let me go through here. Well, let's try it while I'm talking. But you are able to upload your paper, and during this time you are able to look at this, and you can submit your paper. You can submit it to two different things. You can submit it to the Writing Center, which is actually a place that goes through and looks at your grammar, your APA, etc. They will not grade your paper for you, but they will look at errors and issues that you might need to work on. The other thing that you can also do is you can submit it to a nursing author that can actually go through and grade it or give you feedback for content. Again, they don't have the grading rubrics, so they're not going to be able to tell you you're missing this chunk of the grading rubrics, but they can let you know if from a nursing perspective this makes sense or it doesn't make sense. Again, this is like getting your paper graded and getting feedback before you get your actual grade. So it can be very, very beneficial to you to have this service, and I really encourage you to use it. And students who have used it in the past find that it is incredibly helpful. So again, your screen might look a little different than mine because I have a professor screen, and there should be a tutorial on how to use this, and I do believe it's in doc sharing. Let me just check this out. If not, actually on the Tutor Source website there should be an area that has a tutorial with exactly how to use it and what you need to do, or you can do a live chat. Again, I think that this is very, very beneficial if indeed that you can use that. We are working on a tutorial for this, and hopefully that will be out soon. So again, this is an incredibly busy week, and we've got a lot of things going on, but this is an important week, and this is a very important milestone for your paper. Again, it's a big chunk. If you do very well on this, it'll make the rest of the course go rather smoothly. If you're going to struggle on this one, it's going to be difficult because your milestone number 4 is actually rewriting and adding a couple other things to your milestone number 2. So again, do good work on this and it'll make the rest of the term a lot easier. Again, if you have any questions at all, never hesitate to email me or contact me. I am here to help you, and I wish you all a wonderful week and good luck on your milestones, and I will be talking to you soon. Have a great week. Bye.